Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Matt, Prime Analog Records. This is Brody, and he had a great Christmas. Hope you guys did too. Jump up, Papa. All right, I'm gonna go back through these a new bunch that I have in my collection that I'm adding to my collection this year. I've added so many because of that storage facility, and let me just start. I'm going to go pretty quick. This time. So, anyway, this is a Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland, and this is an OG. Look at that. Look at the condition of this. It's actually in really amazing condition for the age of it. All right, you guys know this. Now I try to rip through these things. Both the records, of course, I've repackaged them on the Reprise label. All right, got the Talking Heads. I hope this is focusing. All right, and there's the label. Got Billy Joel, An Innocent Man. Billy Joel's getting really collectible because, to find the OGs, they're getting tougher and tougher to find, especially in this kind of condition. Got a Carly Simon, No Secrets, which always perpetually I love this. I love her stuff. I was just actually listening to her album yesterday, Anticipation. The Who, Meaty, Beady, Big, and Bouncy. I gotta stop this thing for a second. Hang on. Yeah, something didn't sound quite right before, and I realized why, because I don't have any music running like I usually do. So I stuck on Pink Floyd Metal. Which is another addition to my collection. I don't know if I showed that before. Here's another one, Three Dog Night, captured live at the Forum. That was a Three Dog Night album. It was the very first album I ever owned. It wasn't this one, but Beach Boys, Endless Summer. Everybody's got to have that in their collection, I would imagine. We got a Lou Reed, New Sensations. This is a sealed copy I found out of that collection. It's sealed. Bob Seger and Silver Bullet Band, Stranger in Town. Great album here. This is a classic album. Like I said, this whole storage locker was just chock full of really classic rock albums, and actually I found some really strong jazz albums in there too. You guys know I'm not a big Springsteen fan, but Greetings from Asbury Park, I got that too. That's in great shape. Haven't spun it yet though. I will eventually. I'm trying to like it. Some of my best friends really love Springsteen. They always have. Even back in the early 80s, they loved him. And I was like, I don't know. So, anyway, this is Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper, and Steve Stills' Super Session. I'm going to turn that music back a little bit. Hang on a second. Forgot the dynamic range on Pink Floyd albums are just off the rocks. I mean, they're just crazy. They're up and down, and it's hard to set your volume especially low because of the dynamic range of it. They sound. Pink Floyd always has these amazing sounding albums, as you guys know. This is Cheap Thrills. This is, from what I can gather, Janis Joplin came from this. And that's a really cool album cover. This is the Flying Burrito Brothers, 68 through 72. And here is Queen. I'm not a huge Queen fan either. I can listen to it, and there's some iconic songs and stuff like that they've done. That's why they have several greatest hits albums. But I found this one. I don't know anything about this, so it's like, if you guys know, let me know in the comments. You guys are really great on commenting on these finds, because there's a lot of stuff I have no idea what it is, and I've never heard it or everything. I haven't had time to spin all this stuff because there's a lot of stuff to go through here. Of course, I've gone through this. I haven't spun this exact one, but I did ultrasonically clean all of these. I believe this is the first. This is a first edition, our first pressing. This really cool that I found this. Especially seeing that James Caan recently passed away. He was so good in this movie. It's such a cool movie. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It's Rollerball. This, I'm like I've said again, I'm not a big soundtrack guy, but I've found a lot of really great soundtracks lately, and this one was in the shrink. It's still got the actual sticker on it. It's this is from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And a little side note is the beautiful woman in here was a girl named Catherine Ross. And we all fell in love with her. This is back in the age of Ali MacGraw, and the studios were trying to find somebody who could be a breakout star that had that similar look, because back then they used to put these stars under contract so they couldn't do other projects outside of their studio. I have a 6 degrees of separation kind of from her. I've never met her, but I photographed her husband. And that's Sam Elliott, and Sam Elliott is Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross. You can look it up. They're one of the storied romances of Hollywood. It's very rare that anybody stays together in Hollywood very long, and they've been together, gosh, I think 35 or 40 years now. So, but Sam Elliott, the coolest guy ever, funniest thing ever. And I'll tell you about I'll tell you a little quick story, which I thought was really interesting. I photographed him for a movie, for the movie posters and everything, for the publicity of this one film that I was working on with him. And we were actually shooting over in an iconic place in LA called the Key Club. Well, we were shooting upstairs in the Key Club, because the downstairs, they were actually filming part of this movie. Anyway, so long story short, I first met Sam, and I'd done my research and everything, and Sam says to me, he says, so what do you want me to do? And I said, I want you to stand here. And I had the co-stars standing there too. It's a female, and I had her standing there, and I said, now look over her shoulder in a fatherly way. And Sam looks at me, he goes, did you read the fucking script? And really gruff voice, with that big voice he has. And he says, and I just sat there, and I said, yeah, I read it 3 or 4 times. And he goes, well, you can forget about that fatherly shit. And then he just sat there for a minute to see how I'd react. And anyway, I mean, he was a consummate professional. I just went about my thing. He knew exactly what I was trying to get at, and he gave me everything that I wanted that day. The very next day, the publicist asked me for a couple of other shots of him. And what was funny is that we were walking back upstairs, and Sam looks back at me, and he remembered my name, which was shocking, because I'm a low life compared to, you know, the actors running around. They never remember your names. And Sam looked back at me. He goes, "So Matt, tell me what brilliant fucking idea you got for me today." and he had a big smile on his face and everything. It's the greatest thing. He's still one of my favorite stars that I've ever photographed. All right, getting back to the records. Sweet Dreams are made of this, of these, and this is Eurythmics. Gary Wright. I've got like 3 of these albums, so 2 of them are going up on Discogs, so they'll be for sale pretty soon. Here's a Devo album I got out of this bunch. That's pretty cool. The I don't know if you can see how this label is pretty cool. It's very unusual. Creedence Clearwater. This is Creedence Gold as CCR. And what's cool about this, and this is back in this era where they used to spend time in graphic arts and all this kind of stuff, is these are all, each face is a cutout of the profile of the person. And it's really interesting how they did this. And I mean, it kind of is better in this kind of shape the way I've got it. But these are all, it's relief. You can actually feel the separation in there. And these are flaps, each one of them. So it's kind of interesting. Back then they took a lot more care with this. Now somebody the other day, I think it was JC or something, but somebody was talking about this album here and how great it is, and it's Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. And it is one of the greatest rock, hard rock albums of all time. We've got Derek and the Dominoes, Layla. These are all original press. This is a double album. Roxy Music, and this is in the sleeve. It's a white label promo. No, it's not a white label promo. It's a yellow label promo, but it's promo right here. Well, there's the promo sticker right there. And this is a very good album here. It's really good. And I've got a Sinatra in the Shrink. And what is the name of this one? It is Some Nice Things I've Missed, Frank Sinatra. And that's in the Shrink. Reprise. Still even got a little hype sticker here. I'm not sure what that means, but this I saw and I was like, that's pretty cool. I've never seen anything else like this, and it's in really great shape, and it's the sound of Mexico. Sounds of Mexico. It's a beautiful album, and it's got, you know, all those songs, those standard songs that sound Mexican, whatever. Here's another one that was really cool. It's I've never seen this. I've never heard of Wall of Voodoo, but I couldn't resist this cool artwork on it. It's just very cool, very unusual. It's called 7 Days in Sammy Town. Wall of Voodoo. This is a Dolly Parton, 12 of her biggest #1 hits, and it's new and it's sealed, never been opened. So, and like I was talking about before about Queen, here's their original greatest hits. And these things, I'm surprised they're going for quite a bit of money now on Discogs. All right, so there's the first half of this. I think this is a 4th installment of the last finds that I've done for my collection. And I'm going to do another one right here really quick. So we'll have some back-to-back videos coming before the new year, and that way we can start fresh. All right? We'll talk to you soon. All my best.